After over a year of waiting and lots of anticipation, TDX is finally here. Because I was helping John with balancing this game, he so kindly managed to, hand me over a couple of coins. And so today I'm going to be using every single tower, starting with the first few. Ranger, Shotgunner, Operator, Mine Layer, and Cryo Blaster. No more talking, let's hop into a game and get started. Oh, also, lots of badges you can claim. Alright, here we are on our first map. We're going to be doing easy mode for these tests, just because that way we don't actually have to focus on trying to win the game. Now, our first tower here is Ranger. This thing works pretty similar to the TDS Soldier, and let's get it down right here. And here's the two upgrades. So at base level, let me just not upgrade it just so you get to see how it does. It'll do some damage, It won't kill everything, but it'll do damage, and that's that's about it. Our first two upgrade options are Advanced Training, which does a lot of stuff, or AP Ammo, which just increases its damage. AP Ammo is probably the better upgrade because it just more than doubles the damage of the Ranger, and that's pretty good value. And then if you combine it with Advanced Training, we get more range, we get more everything. Now, Ranger is a real powerhouse here. It's going to be able to kill these easy enemies like they're nothing. Keep in mind, for intermediate mode, Ranger is going to struggle significantly more. And for that, we're going to be using Operator, but I'm going to show him in a second. So our next two options with Ranger are Internal Upgrades and Laser Sight. Internal Upgrades will make it shoot faster and give it range, while Laser Sight will just give it range. So I think Internal Upgrades is the better upgrade to go for, unless you need a lot of range, in which case you can go for Laser Sight. And Laser Sight's also cheaper. Just like that, Ranger is, for the most part, handling the easy enemies pretty easily. I also have farm here. Might as well show this off early because farm is it's a farm. Everybody knows how farms work, but the farm in this game works differently than it does in other tower defense games. So you see how the wave started? The farm hasn't made us money yet. I'm actually just get one more Ranger for defense. But look what happens. A plane flies overhead, right? And then drops a crate. This is a cash crate, and it's going to fly down, and we're going to, when it lands, we're going to get the money. So the farm kind of works in a delayed way. We don't make our money immediately from the farm. We make it a little bit after. Also, if you upgrade the farm before the plane flies in, wherever the plane is, here it is. Before the plane drops the crate, if you upgrade the farm, then you actually do get the better crate. So that's one fantastic way of using the farm. Now, it seems like we're starting to struggle against these enemies here. That is because there's hordes. Good way to take down hordes is Shotgunner. Let's put one of these Shotgunners down. Actually, it's pretty efficient to not just get one Shotgunner, but just to straight up get several. Several base Shotgunners are going to deal a lot of damage to hordes, and when you start upgrading them, like our first upgrade here, this one's going to shoot faster and do more damage. Pretty good upgrade. This one is just going to do more damage and give more range, so might as well get that. Padded Vest, more damage, faster shooting, all that, Starts to become pretty strong at this point, and this one makes it do 10 damage per shot, which is actually considerably strong. By the way, Precision Crates on the farm here makes the crate drop faster, and War Bonds makes the crate give more money. So look at this. Now the crate, instead of taking a whole year to come down, it's going to take just a bit. Okay, here we go. Shotgunners, again, doing a fantastic job at clearing out hordes. And there you go. All the heavy zombies are dead. Now let's see what comes out on wave 9. Armored zombies. Okay, so these zombies aren't actually armored zombies. On modes like intermediate mode, there are true armored zombies, which have bullet defense. That means your rangers, your operators, your shotgunners, they won't be doing any damage, actually. You'll need explosive towers. So like Mine Layer here, he places down mines on the track. He's a good thing to get at the back, so that, he could build up his mines and blow up enemies that leak. Let's actually get one right here. There you go. He just places down mines on the track, and if anything gets back here, you're going to step on the mine. It works just like a Spike Factory in Bloons Tower Defense. Let's upgrade our farms here. It's a little bit more efficient to upgrade farms than to place down new ones. Again, only as of this update. Everybody should know that what I'm recording here is not the stats of the towers forever. Who knows, maybe in 4 months, the Shotgunner, for example, here is going to be way, way better. And then, everything I say right now doesn't matter. But in the meantime, let's get Militant here. It can now hit more enemies. It'll shoot faster. Let's actually give it more damage as well. Look at that. It's going to tear through these enemies. Yes, that's beautiful. But there's a lot of enemies here. That's pretty tough. What could we do about that amount of enemies? We can upgrade a farm, yes. And because I upgraded it before the end of the round, we get the better crate. Let's look at this armored zombie. Step on these mines. Boom, boom. He's dead. So, mine layer, 20 damage. Pretty sure the mines, yes, they last 100 seconds. So the base level mine layer can place down 4 mines. Also, we are being attacked by stealths. We can't detect those because I don't have any stealth upgrade. But if you want a stealth upgrade, you go for top path ranger here, like more equipment. And there we go. Now we can detect stealths. I should have done that earlier, but I was focused on showcasing stuff. So we are going to end up leaking some enemies, but that's fine because I'm going to actually defend at the back. Oh yeah, and you get to see, boom. Now, the mine layer doesn't really have a big splash radius. It's only $300, so you can't expect it to be overpowered. But if you're playing in a squad, for example, then the mine layer is actually going to come in really handy. You know, if your teammates, a few stuff leaks, if they leak some stuff, you'll have a mine layer at the back. It'll have you covered. Now, in the meantime, because we're leaking all of this stuff, I want to put some defenses at the back. Let's get an operator. This is like the next level after ranger. The first level, 3.8 DPS, kind of strong. This upgrade is extremely worth it because it doubles its damage for only $400, so you definitely want to get that as soon as you can. And the thing is, what if we're leaking hiddens? Well, the operator can't see hiddens unless we go for top path. This first upgrade makes it shoot faster. This one gives it a lot more range. Ump actually gives it damage, so if you just need to kill off normal enemies like these, you'd get ump. But if you just want an overall stronger operator and you want some stealth detection, you'd get assault rifle. In my case, I can afford both assault rifle and ump, so this thing is going to absolutely destroy these armors. Keep in mind, this is easy mode, so yeah, let me just take a look at that. Yeah, that's fantastic damage. So it'll kill everything that's leaking. In the meantime, you know what? Let's get heavy caliber. We want a stronger ranger here. This one's going to do considerably more damage. I must point out that easy mode is possible to beat without even farm. So the fact I'm farming here, that's just some added, money. It just makes it easier. But yes, with just ranger on an easy map, it is technically possible to be easy mode. Now, is it going to be easy? Not really, but, it's possible. Next up is Cryo. This costs only $300. Let's put it at the front here. I'm feeling like a combination with the shotgunners might actually be pretty useful. And let's get one of these newer farms down just to have it. Yeah. I'm going for bottom path farm because that makes more money, but top path can actually make you HP. And look at this. The Cryo, what it does here is it shoots like a beam of frost that takes a very long time to freeze enemies. Actually, at base level, it really is gonna have a hard time freezing enemies. But look at this, permanent speed reduction to frozen. That means if the Cryo manages to freeze an enemy, like completely turn it into an ice block, they are going to stop moving entirely. This one is freeze rate. This is good because this is actually gonna do a much better job at freezing. It's not just gonna like shoot ice at them for them to not do anything. That is actually just one problem with the Cryo, is that the early levels hardly do anything. But yeah, let's get it upgraded for it to help. Oh, it doesn't have hidden detection. By the way, I must mention mine layer cannot see hiddens. So all of these stealths, they would actually just straight up run over the mines. Let's max out this ranger, top path LMG. This thing now shoots constantly, so no reload, and it's stronger. Let's get a medical aid farm here. So now we're going to be getting HP and we're going to be getting more money. So let's just look at the crate drop here. Boom. It makes it $670 and it actually heals us up. The nice thing is this thing can heal, overheal the base. That means we can have more HP than the max. So technically, if you do have all of your health farms placed down, you could make thousands of health, but we kind of got to weigh the consequences of that because you'd be putting in so much money into that. You might just be better off getting normal defense. Okay, so yeah, LMG here is extremely useful. Cryo, still not doing much. So let's upgrade the bigger fan. This is going to give it more range. Turbo turbine, it's going to hit more targets. But yeah, up until this point, the freeze is pretty unnoticeable. Like, I'll be honest, you can barely notice it freezing. Look at it. It's shooting this mutated zombie, and it's like slowing it down the smallest amount. You can't even tell. So, if you wanted to really freeze, you got to get Cryo Rifle. This thing is, yeah, it's going to freeze. And look how slow the enemies move. It actually does work. It'll make the enemies move slow for a while. It'll cluster them up. So yeah, if you have an explosive tower, the explosive tower is going to synergize really well with that. And it just buys us a bunch of time to kill off this stuff, all while doing pretty good damage, actually. Let's max out a farm here. Max farm, instead of dropping 1 crates, now drops 2 crates, so more than doubles the money. Very good to go for, and yeah. These mutated zombies, when they die, they split open. They have a little enemy. It's annoying, but it's not impossible to deal with. Let's get overcharged tanks. Yeah, this is going to be doing 50 damage a shot, all while freezing enemies, like, a lot. And deep freeze will do 100 damage a shot. Also make enemies take much longer to unfreeze. And it can freeze bosses. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. The freezer in this game, that's actually kind of cool. The only thing is, again, early game, it's just useless. Oh, by the way, this farm has a really cool mechanic. Gain 2% value of nearby towers per crate. So if you have expensive stuff near it, say, look at this this farm right here. We spent 21,000 on it. 2% is like, what, $400? So we are gaining some extra money from this. I don't think it visually shows, but we still definitely are getting more money. At least I hope. Unless this farm doesn't work at all. If it's broken, then it's broken. And look at this. Our HP is getting healed quite a lot. Oh, by the way, hazmat zombies. These are pretty tough. We have a few solutions for that. First off, we can get a max level shotgunner. But because the enemies are far, we can actually get a bottom path ranger. Check this out. We have a grenade. Boom. Grenade does fantastic damage. But if we max out the bottom path, look at this. It throws down a flame grenade that burns all the enemies. If you're struggling to hordes, this is definitely what you want to get. So here come these hazmats, and let's just drop a grenade on them. Look at this damage. The freezer freezes them and keeps them inside the fire. That's such a good combo. Also, let's max out the shotgunner here. Check out what this thing can do. Look at its damage. This thing now fires super duper fast and does a lot of damage. A good combo with that would be actually top path freezer. This one is intended to freeze all the enemies like that. This thing is super good at freezing hordes and keeping hordes frozen. Unfortunately, Abomination is too quick to be frozen unless we max out a freezer. So let's get our money here and max this out. Boom. Now this freezer is it's just gonna keep them frozen for a long time. Let's see it. Boom. Look at this. Completely motionless. Can't do anything. But now that there's enemies getting in front, it's not that fun. Combined with this top path freezer, though, it should keep everything frozen much longer. Yeah, look at that. Top path freezer combined with bottom path freezer just stops the enemies in their tracks. So yeah, if you want to use cryo, you don't want to use it early, but later on, this thing is going to be extremely good for slowing down stuff and completely stopping stuff as well. Now, there's also bottom path shotgunner, DB12. This thing has a very small arc. So this thing is only really good if you put it in straight lines. So for example, right here, it's not really going to do good because it can hit like what, six enemies, probably more than 6. But because of where I put it, it's only really going to be like hitting 1 at a time. But it does a lot of damage. So if I were to put DB12, for example, up here, now it's shooting kind of in a straight line here. So that's going to be doing, yeah, like 300 damage a shot. So very good option. AA12 though, this top path shotgunner is easier to use in general. So I would say use this, but if you have a good spot for DB12, it's going to do more work. Let's actually go back to mine layer here because I haven't gone through all of its upgrades. Top path throws down strong mines that have a big explosion radius. So if you have like 20 stuff leaking, then they hit one of the big mines, it blows them up. Just does 200 damage to all of them. Then the more interesting mine layer is the bottom path one, and I say it's more interesting. Check this out. X mines. This thing does 460 damage. Actually, here, let me get another one. X mine. The mine's lifetime is 550 seconds. So these mines are almost permanent for all we know. The enemies get burned when they step on them, 40 damage for 15 seconds. They ignore explosive resistance, so these mines are just, yeah, they beat anything, and they just do a ton of damage. So basically, this mine layer is a boss annihilator. If you get one of these mine layers at the back of the map, and then just, you know, let them cook, they're gonna do some good work. By the way, look at this. There's stealth enemies, so even if you do have your overpowered freezers that keep everything in place, you just have to pay attention sometimes, because stuff like this is still able to get past. So, what I'm gonna do to deal with that is max out this operator that I had back here before. Special forces, that just does a lot of damage, and then ghost. Huge range, huge damage, very good thing to go for. If you need to deal with stealth stuff, or if you need to deal with bosses, pretty much very good overall tower. Now, there's also bottom path operator, for example. This thing has a burst, so basically gets turned back into a ranger. Also, by the way, I don't think one ghost is enough for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly put down a second operator and max it out. I don't believe that stealths can step on mines, as I was saying earlier, but maybe it gets buffed. You know, John was thinking, or some of the testers were thinking that it should get buffed, so let's see if it works. Yeah, it doesn't. This stuff just walks right over. But all right, we got $40,000. That's because this is the last round, so we get to fight the plague doctor. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna sell my farms. Make sure if you sell your farms, you do it after the plane drops the crates, because you'd still make the money. Okay, here we go. 40,000 HP. This shouldn't be much of an issue. Also, let's see if the freezer is able to freeze this boss. So yes, even though this thing can freeze bosses, it's not gonna have an easy time doing it. You need a lot of freezers in order to freeze a boss. Like, you need probably like 5. So yeah, Cryo would be definitely a more of a good support tower in a squad, but in a solo here, I wouldn't say it's the best option. Oh yeah, here come the enemies towards this mine layer. Boom! Just blows all of them up like they're nothing. Look at that. There's also the stronger enemies. This mine layer, again, should be able to blow them up, no problem. But this is not the strong one. The strong mine layer is the bottom path. Let's see these knights. And yeah, they're done for. Alright, Plague Doctor is approaching the back. Currently fighting these stealth abominations. Oh, and by the way, bottom path operator. I was talking about this. This bottom path operator is stronger than top path operator. It just doesn't have hidden detection. And when we max this bad boy out, Captain, it actually is immune to stuns. So that means the Plague Doctor just can't stun it. Let's send out a Humvee, because that's also an ability that the operator has. We can send out a car that has 400 HP, does a lot of damage. So if you spam down a ton of bottom path operators, you're actually going to have a pretty fun time against bosses, because all you can do is really just spam Humvees, and then because they don't get stunned, they're just going to do all the damage you need in order to kill the boss. You can use Ranger at this point, but it just falls out of usage if you have Operator. Operator is just better. So let's send out a barrage of Humvees here. And here we go. Look at all of these cars, especially on longer maps. This is super good. And look at this crazy damage that bottom path operator spam does. So this should be a pretty easy kill against the Plague Doctor. Let's spawn in another barrage of Humvees, because that does good work. And look at it. Boom! It's trying to stun all of these. I mean, this is a debuff. It's not a stun. As I said, bottom path operator won't get stunned. But they could still get debuffed, you know? They could be weakened. So I'm going to sell the stuff back here because it's weak, and I can just get a few ghosts. Now, this plague... Oh, never mind. It's going to walk over the X mines, right? These X mines, yeah, they just do too much damage. So yeah, consensus with all the towers. Ranger, good early game. Shotgunner, fantastic early as well, especially for hordes, which makes it super good for easy mode. Operator, absolutely wonderful tower. It'll take down your bosses. It'll defend early game for a better price than Ranger. Mine layer, also pretty useful. It's not an operator, but it's cheap and it's really good in a squad. Cryo can absolutely solidify enemies, make everything motionless, but it has its weaknesses. Like early game, it doesn't really do anything, and the fact that it can't see hiddens, you still need your defenses up. And of course, there's still farm. Very useful. Okay, since I don't want to make a 2-hour long video, let's split this up into a few parts. I'll see you in the review of the next towers tomorrow. In the meantime, like, subscribe, use Star Cody.